Bonjour, je suis not manly, ici le voyage d'espace je ne sais quoi. Welcome to Vall, the ice ball and the second moon of Jewel. Vall is about 1,100 kilometers across, mass is a mere 0.02 kerbins. The surface gravity is comparable to the stock moon, about 1.6 to 1.8 Gs there. One day is about 80 hours and it rotates around Jewel every 6.5 kerbin days. It is also tidally locked. Its inclination is pretty mild, making it a very approachable moon. Delta V to get out here is almost a kilometer per second to fly by from Lathe, and capturing can be at least 450 meters per second. Landing is about 1100 or so. When you get out here, Vall is the easiest moon to land on. It has a decent science multiplier, even more with the Breaking Ground DLC, and there are beautiful mountain views, valleys, craters, and other terrain. That terrain is very rough, however. It can be tough to keep landers upright. There are only 5 biomes, but that's what the DLC can help with, and there are more dangerous fissures and mountains at the poles. When we last left our heroes, Valentina, Bob, and Doug Kerman, they were getting ready to eject from Lathe out to Vall, starting with the rover pain train. I ended up ejecting the pain train, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a little late. Let's get going. Never mind this transfer window planner. We need to leave right now. Come on. And there we go. So after a quick ejection and then a correction burn with the maneuvering thrusters, we get a pretty close approach to Vall. First we get the pain train over here. That is why that approach curve looks so wide and so open, because we ended up sending the pain train a good kerbin day ahead of the main mission craft. But that's okay, we still have the Medusa nuclear pulse. We've got plenty of Delta V to deal with these maneuvers, even if we have trouble with those precision maneuvers. Anyway, here come the great trio. Valentina, Bob, and Doug Kerman. The first ejection put us on a collision course with Vall, but that's okay, we can fix that up with the maneuvering thrusters. Come on. There we go. There we go, we got plenty of time to do this, and since they are shooting for a later encounter, their insertion Delta V will be much, much lower. Here comes the pain train on its approach to Vall, with Jewel and Lathe in the background. There we go. The blue ice ball. At least I'm not sure what else to call this thing. I'm pretty sure it was modeled after the Jupiter moon Europa, even though it's in a closer orbit than Europa would be in in reality. Anyway, I am looking around for anomalies and looking to see what we got going on here. I don't have any probe cores capable of 100% detection aboard the pain train, but at least I can find out where we are. Yep, we've got the usual ones, including mountains and poles, so we got 5 biomes here to do our science. There we go. Vall is a gorgeous ice ball to approach. Look at that. The detail is just amazing. And here comes a gorgeous Vall sunset of sorts. With the ambient lighting I set here, there we go. It fades into view when we get close enough, within about 70 kilometers up. It's also for the benefit of YouTube, because YouTube tends to darken videos. But hey, that's okay. Here we are doing our insertion. This is the biggest insertion because we left intending to arrive so much earlier than the main mission craft. A bit of precision maneuvering later, and there we go. We got a 35 by 40, 36 by 40 orbit. There's a sunrise again. Not bad at all. Don't worry about the terrain tile glitches here. This is similar to what I saw on Moho with Kerbal Space Program 1.8. It's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. It was a lot worse in 1.8. Look at Jewel in the background. Once again, that Jewel known as Jewel. With the pain train inserted into orbit, it's time to deposit the rover on the surface. As we drop off these parts, our frame rate is slowly improving. There's the rover. Without an atmosphere, we don't have the benefit of heat shields or parachutes to land this craft, so we're going to use the service module that brought this thing into orbit and docked with the pain train as our landing burn here. There we go. Then we will detach that, and we'll use the rover's own landing thrusters to finish the landing. Much like the Duna rover, this has a considerable amount of delta V for landing, but that service module is going to take care of the brunt of the approach. Not bad. Look at those craters. It looks like almost a blue version of Drez. That spot right below here, just past the crater, looks smooth enough to land on, I think. It is pretty rough terrain, but a seasoned player should be able to touch down on Vall safely. I've got that docking port on the bottom of the craft to help keep this thing pointing retrograde. It's actually backwards, that's why you see it's pointing prograde and pointing down. But that's okay. If you're going to do that, and you're going to have a docking port used as a guide, be sure to turn the gimbal off on your engines. Otherwise, you might find the gimbal will do the exact opposite of what you want your craft to do. Fortunately, this craft has lots of reaction wheels to keep its orientation, well, prograde in this case. And we can deposit this thing on the surface of Vall safely. Hey, once again, with Jewel in the background there. Look at that. Fortunately, the terrain glitches worked in our favor and we had a gorgeous surface to land on. Touchdown. And with that, we can set control back to that cockpit there. There we go. And we can drive this thing to a safe place, get it ready to rendezvous with the Vall lander, with Valentina and Bob Kerman. Yes, we are going to deposit Val on Vall. While that was going on, the main mission craft was on its approach to Vall. We're going to send up Bob here to get some high space science. Look at that. There we go. We've seen all this before, so we're just going to cut it short. There we are. Look at that. I go out to a really high orbit here, trying to find anomalies, and I don't have any luck doing it this way. So what I ended up doing was, I dropped Val and Bob on the surface, and then we sent Doug up to a high polar orbit, just like we did on above Lathe. We did find something, fortunately. Here we go, Valentina's getting aboard the lander, and Bob will follow very shortly. And just like the rover, we're going to use that service module there to do a considerable chunk of the descent, and then we'll use the lander itself. Okay, why is the undock not working? I ended up undocking the rest of the craft. After I did that, I could then undock the service module for the Vall lander. I don't know why that worked, but, well, it worked. Maybe it had something to do with what part was the root part at the time, I don't know. But then I docked the rest of the craft together, and Doug here was in command. He was able to restrut those pieces back together. So now the main mission craft is down to the Tylo lander and the Bop and Paul lander/rover. There we go. And just like with the rover, we'll use the service module to start our descent, then we'll use the lander to do the rest of it. This is the same design as the Moho lander. Vall needs much less delta V and a little less thrust to weight to land, so landing on Vall was pretty easy. Kinda over-designed for Vall, but that's okay. We did not want to take any chances with the rough terrain on this ice ball. And with Valentina in command, this was a very, very easy landing for her. I'm hoping that the next version of Copernicus takes care of this terrain glitch issue. It seems to be specific to the lighting. The terrain itself seems fine. It's just the lighting that gets messed up, because it also happens with rover headlights, with headlights on the Kerbal's helmets, any lighting source, not just the sun. Not sure what's going on here. Fortunately, that doesn't stop us from completing our mission. And it seems to only affect the jewel moons for some reason. I took a quick look around the other places. At least with this setup on 1.9 and the test Copernicus, this problem only happened around Jewel's moons. So fortunately, the rest of the series should be pretty clear. And Vall touches down safely on just this little bit of a hilltop. Oh, come on, Vall, you know what you're doing. Come on. Touchdown. Like a pro. Way to go, Valentina! You have just become Vall on Vall. We're gonna plant a rover target here so that the rover can quickly approach without running into the lander itself. We will replace this flag just like we have before we leave the surface. Not a problem. In the meantime, Doug is getting out to his polar orbit, and he finally finds the anomaly. There's only one anomaly, so we'll just mark that on the map there. They did take away Vall Henge, which was that ice kind of formation that's there on stock Vall. It's not here on JNSQ Vall, but that's okay. We're kind of waiting here for some sunshine, but we're experiencing a Joule solar eclipse right now. Oh my, look at that. Everything just goes purple. So that effect we saw back at low Joule orbit is also present here on Vall. Beautiful. And here are more gorgeous shots of mountaintops, hilltops, the sun, and our crescent Joule. We'll jump straight ahead to the discovery of the anomaly. As we approach the anomaly, we do get a radio message. Okay, where is it? There we go. Driving. Bob's got lots of experience by this point. Careful there. There we go. There's the radio message. We have found a monolith. It's a random monolith, and we found extreme fuel storage. We do come back to the monolith and we plant a flag near it for right now. But right now, let's just get out there. Take a quick look at it. It's the same monolith we've seen elsewhere. But we do find some more interesting objects near the monolith. We find a piece of ice here, which is again from the Breaking Ground DLC. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. There we go. That scanning arm does seem to work better when the object is behind us rather than in front of us. Yes, a broken chunk of Vall's icy crust. And that is an object we can also go up and pick up with a pickaxe, so we'll send out Bob here. He'll take another copy of this. Well, he'll just, take it. There we go. These are the only objects you can pick up from the surface of Vall. We also find a Vall stone or a Vall boulder or whatever this is. It's too big to take back home with us, but we can still scan it. There we go, Vall stone. This is one of the few things that isn't made of ice here. Look at that, 540 science. That's pretty good there. We do find one more object nearby too. Vall is covered with these little cryovolcanoes. Just like they suspect might be on the surface of Europa, these things spew out, well, something. Might be water vapor, I don't know. Anyway, we get out there, we try to scan. There we go, we got it. Not bad, 720 science. Oh, you think it's a good selfie spot, eh? Well, you know what? Let's just send out Bob and Valentina and we'll see. Look at that. There you go. Smile for the camera there, Bob. There we go. Not bad at all. And there's our crescent jewel again. We'll jump out to the South Pole next. The South Pole was pretty flat, but there was a terrain seam there, so be careful. More interesting, though, is the North Pole, and we'll just jump straight ahead to that. Well, that's a jump, all right. Oh, look out. Bob has somehow placed them on an almost sheer cliff. Okay, Bob, get out of there. Let Valentina drive for a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to let Val pilot this thing up to a flatter piece of terrain. Fortunately, those reaction wheels are nice and strong too. There we go. We got about 750 meters per second. We're not going to use all of that just to get to flatter ground. But hey, we can fly this rover for a little bit. Not bad at all. I wonder if that road going up that mountain is actually drivable. Kind of reminds me of those roads that go up one side and down the other, and there's Jewel in the background as well. Use that landing marker to help. Kerbal Engineer is your friend. Oh boy. Yeah, Bob, you just stay there with your seatbelt buckled. Let Valentina do the driving. Come on. Almost. There we go. Touchdown. End up driving to a little bit of higher ground to take a proper look. There we go. Got 8-wheel drive on this rover. Oh boy. Well, now that we're up here, we can take a proper look around. And we find this lovely crater here. Oh! Uh-oh. That's another mohole. Okay, Galileo team, this is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them. Anyway, with our surface exploration finished, we send Doug here back to a low equatorial orbit, ready to pick these guys up. And there we go. All we gotta do now is wait for the rover to get close to the lander, and we will stop Bon Voyage. That way we don't crash into the lander. Now, I've talked about Chris Hadfield, Roberta Lynn Bondar, and Julie Payette, but I never really got to talk about Valentina Tereshkova. Valentina has went into space and went into orbit on June 16th, 1963, and just a week ago was the anniversary of that. Congratulations, Valentina Tereshkova. Now, what Val is doing right now, though, is she's a member of the Russian State Duma, which is their version of a national parliament. So, hey, we've got MPs all over the place. We got Julie Payette, we got Valentina Tereshkova, we got Roberta Bondar. Oh my goodness. Look at that. And to honor Valentina Tereshkova, Valentina Kerman here is going to go, as soon as she gets upright, that is. She's going to plant the flag in Miss Tereshkova's honor. So, please rise for the planting of Valentina's flag. And there it is. That's a special flag I put together just for Valentina's anniversary. Congratulations, Valentina Tereshkova, Member of Parliament in Russia and former cosmonaut for the Soviet Union. Val says, I don't like this meme you're doing on the plaque here, but she'll salute the flag no less. And with that done, we take off to go rendezvous with the main mission craft. Bob's not liking this, but hey, he never really did. Oh well. Don't worry, Bob. Val saved you from that crazy cliff, and she'll save you from the surface of Vall. Look at that. Fortunately, the terrain glitches give us less trouble right now. And with that little bit of dedication done, it's back to normal for our version of the AEK. Valentina and Bob bring back their respective copies of the science, and we will send this lander off on a Viking funeral. It has served us well. And Val is going to kick Doug out of the command pod. Hey, get your booty out of there. Well, that is it for Je ne sais quoi Vall. We will see you over at Tylo in the next episode. Until then, I'm not manly. Fly safe.